Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence, and I've got an acrylic set for you guys this time. So I'm using my Neo acrylic as usual. So I've got my medium speed, the clear, the mega white, and then these colours that I've mixed myself. If you would like to know how I mixed my acrylic colours myself, please check out the link to the video of how to mix your own custom acrylic powders. I did a video of how I do it, so go ahead and check that out if you are interested. And then I'm using a few other bits and bobs in this video. So I've got these sort of mylar pieces. They're really nice. I've got this glitter from SBD London. It's a really pretty pink. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's just a fine glitter. Really nice. And I'm using the Max Professional turquoisey colour. It's gorgeous. And I'm using the CC Nails Ireland. I'm using their Perfect French White because it's a really nice white to use, not just for French but for drawing with. So that is what I'm using. I've made a right mess of the pot there, but oh well. These are the tips I'm going to be using. These are the C-Curve Stiletto tips. They're really cool. They've got a really nice deep C curve in them, so they're really nice to use. And they're not too long, but they're long enough. And then the piece de resistance, as they say. These water slide nail decals from Print by Example. So if you are after decals, I highly recommend printbyexample.com. Link in the description box. I also have a discount code for them, which is Karen10. If you place an order of £40 or more, you will get a discount. If you use my code, you're welcome to use it. If not, you don't have to, not a problem. Just saying, I'm not, I don't get anything for that discount code or anything like that. It's not an affiliate code, it's just a code for you guys to use. And me, of course, when I want to buy some more, of course. So I'm just going to cut out the bits and bobs that I would like to use on this set. Cut the decals as close to the picture as possible, but obviously don't cut the picture off. So I will go around, cut them, get them ready, and then nearer the time, or do I put them in water now? No, I think nearer the time I put them in water, but I get them ready. So yeah, I'll just carry on cutting out these bits. Look at that donut, isn't that cute? I keep cutting myself off. Yeah. I'll just keep cutting out the bits and bobs that I think I'll use, and I'm just comparing it to the size of the nail there, and I thought that one that I first cut out might be a bit small, so I thought, should I cut out a bigger one? So I did. I cut out a bigger one because there's so many different sizes on the one sheet. Even if you're doing short nails, there'll be a decal that will fit on the nails for you. That's what I love about Print by Example. It's not only the designs that she does, it's the fact that she does different sizes of decals, and you can get a decal that can fit extra long nails for a full decal. She does extra large decals, she does large ones, and she does medium and small. So there's a size of decal to fit for everybody, every kind of nail. So definitely recommend Print by Example for that. For that alone, the fact that you've got such variety in the shapes and sizes of decals is just amazing to me. But that's just my opinion. So I get a little triangle tray and I pop a lint-free wipe in there, and I pop the decals on top of that, ready. And later on I'll put the water in for the decals to soak and release. This is hand dolly. Why did I forget what it was called? Lord, Karen, you use it all the time. Yes, I'm using my hand dolly. This is a seconds dolly, so every so often Kelly will put out seconds because they have flaws in them, so they will be significantly cheaper than the non-flawed ones. So keep an eye out for those because they're always a bargain. So join our hand dolly community group. I'll put the link in the description box. Join the hand dolly community group, and we will list there when there's any seconds going. So keep an eye out for those. Great bargain. fine. But yeah, so she does have some flaws, but she's perfectly usable, as you can see. I've used her many times in videos, and I love my hand dolly. Anyway, onto the nails. So on the little finger, I'm doing this really pale blue colour, and I'm just giving that a wash of colour, just a background colour. So I'm not building any strength or anything, I'm just putting a really thin layer of the colour on, so that, you know, I've got a nice background to work my design on top of. So I'll let that set up now that I've got full coverage. And on to the middle finger, I'm going to be doing a full nail of white acrylic. So I'm using the Nao Mega White. And there was a bit of fluff stuck in my acrylic. I hate that so much when you get a bit of fluff stuck in your acrylic. So yeah, just kind of use my brush to scoop that out, and then I placed a bit more acrylic where I'd scooped and made a dent. So yeah, just to even it out a bit, just replace what I scooped out. And again, I'm just doing a very thin layer of the white. I just want a full nail of white, but I'm not building any strength with it. It's just a background colour again. So I'll make sure I've got that covered sufficiently and opaque. And if it's not opaque, as you can see, I will add another little bead wherever it's needed. Try and keep your sides, keep swiping your sides as well, so that you don't lose the shape of your nail. You see how I swipe the sides there? Just to help me keep the shape of my nails a little bit better. So I'm just making sure that that is really properly opaque, because I didn't want any shadowing or any patchy bits. So yeah, just making sure it's nice even opaque coverage. Then on to the index finger, same again. I'll be doing a full nail of this sort of minty green, turquoisey kind of colour. It's a minty green. This beautiful colour that I mixed. I love it. It's really pretty. So again, I'm going to do just a wash, just a very thin layer, like I said, full nail coverage there. So I want to make sure my cuticle area is nice and neat, so I will tap any beads into that area wherever I need it, because I do want that area to look nice and neat. And then I will add other beads and bring the colour down the rest of the nail as needed. So tiny beads just to fill in any sparse areas. Like I said, I don't want any patches, you know. Want nice even full coverage, and I just don't like it if it looks patchy. So you don't want it too thick, but thick enough to give you that nice depth of colour without adding bulk, because, you know, like I said, I'm going to be working design on top of it, where it will need encapsulating to protect that design. So yeah, just thin layer, that's all. Tiny beads, just work that down the nail. So I'm just patting, pressing and pulling gently down the nail to just get that acrylic evenly distributed and get my colour payoff that I'm after. On to the ring finger, and I'm going to be doing a marble. We want the beads to be wet so that they flow into each other and marble really nicely, but you don't want it so wet that you don't have the colour payoff. If the bead is too wet, you won't get the colour payoff that you're after. So there's a fine line between too wet and not wet enough kind of thing. So if the bead isn't wet enough, you can't really swirl it nicely, and if it's too wet, then you'll get a wishy-washy colour. I mean, some marbles do look nice with wishy-washy colour, don't get me wrong. I've done some of those where you just want it just to be a really subtle marble. They're fine, but yeah, I'll just work my way up the nail, adding these are teeny tiny beads, absolutely teeny tiny beads, and I'm just working around that cuticle area, trying to get it nice and neat, but also trying to make sure it's marbled. Try not to swirl your colours too much, because you do want some definition of your colours. If you swirl too much, you'll just get a muddy one colour. And where I just added that double bead, I double dipped that pink and white and went around the cuticle and then added a little bit of blue afterwards. You can do that too. Now that I've got enough acrylic there, I will just pat and just neaten up that cuticle area just a little bit. just to make sure I've got, yeah, it's nice and neat. Now I'm going to add some of those mylar flakes. As the acrylic is setting up, I will still add a bit of clear acrylic to hold them in place because I don't want them to move when I cap them. So I'm just following the lines of the marble, so I'm going in the direction of where the lines are going, adding some of that mylar and also some of that pink glitter. Just, yeah, literally following the lines. It's really just gives, to me, a bit of glitter just gives a marble just that little bit of, you know, wow factor. So now I'm going to soak my decals. So they only take about 10 seconds to soak. I keep a bottle of deionized water on my desk at all times. Deionized water does not support the growth of bacteria, so it's quite safe to keep it on your desk. So I will just use that to soak my decals in, and it works perfectly fine. Do not keep tap water on your desk. No, don't do it. It will grow bacteria for sure. Don't do that. So, but deionized water doesn't. So that's quite safe to use. Right, so adding my decals. So I'll just slide the decals off the backing and apply them to the nails. Now, if you're unsure of your placement, you can put down a layer of base coat first. Don't cure it, just put down a layer of base coat first, add the decals onto that base coat, which helps them slide around a lot easier, then cure it to hold them in place. That's, you know, I would do that if I was doing more of a larger decal, because it gives you that opportunity to slide them in place before they dry and set in place. It's definitely worth doing if you're using a bigger decal, but these are just little teeny weeny ones, and the placement is pretty much where I want it to go. I'm putting it, so there was no need to be sliding them around. Therefore, I didn't put my base coat down, but it's not a problem for you to do that. I've done that in other videos. It's not a problem at all. So I've not capped these nails yet. What I'm going to do is add some dots with a dotting tool and that French white from CC Nails. And I'm just, because these are, you know, pop art style decals, I just wanted to add a little bit of dots, because, you know, in pop art you have all those little dots in the background kind of thing. So yeah, that was the thinking behind it. So I'll just add some little dots in various places on, well, let's see, all three, yeah, on the nails that have the decals. I'll add the dots. So I will let you watch that bit in peace, because I don't need to explain how to dot using a dotting tool. I'm pretty sure you all know how to do that. I'll be back in a minute when we get to the next bit.
Play and sleep and play.
secured those dots in place now, so I'm going to use some base coat to seal my decals in, because they are not chemical resistant, which means the monomer can melt them a little bit and make them crackle, which is a good effect if you're going for it. But yeah, if you're not, then base coat them, protect them, get that cured, and then you can go straight in with your acrylic layer. I don't remove the inhibition layer, because when you cure your nails at the end with your top coat, any uncured inhibition layer will then cure in the lamp at the same time, because the inhibition layer is only there because the air has gotten to the gel. So by encapsulating it into the acrylic, we're covering it, therefore no air's going to get onto it. Therefore, when you cure your top coat, that layer that was there will also cure at the same time, so no need to remove it. Also, some of your monomer might, and your brush may brush off some of that inhibition layer. It's not such a big deal. You wipe your brush on your kitchen roll several times, so the brush effectively gets rinsed off. And I always give my brush a good wash in some monomer at the end of a set to make sure there's no acrylic stuck in it anyway. So yeah, that's why I don't bother removing the inhibition layer, but you are most welcome to. If you think it's going to affect you in any way, feel free to remove that layer, but I personally don't. So as we're capping, we are thinking about the structure of the nail, so we want to make sure that we've got a nice neat cuticle area. So we're going to tuck that bead around the back of the colour to just secure it and make sure we don't file it away. Then we want to bring the rest of the bead down the nail. We do want to make sure there's a good apex there, so I'm going to go in with another bead, therefore bringing just the front of it, after I've tapped in the cuticle area, just the front of that bead down, so that I leave most of it in that back area to give me a decent apex. These nails are long, so they need an apex, but it doesn't need to be humongous. So yeah, just enough, you know, for strength. You want a decent amount there, but not too much. We don't want a bulky nail. And then I will concentrate on filling up the rest of the nail, because they are super thin. All they've got is that very thin layer of acrylic on them. They will need a fair amount of clear acrylic to build them up to the correct strength and structure that we need for a nail not to break. So I will go in with several beads just to make sure I have the right shape of the nail that I am going for, that there are no dips, that the shape, that nail has to have a good shape to it. You know, you want it to float up from the cuticle area, then slope down towards the free edge in just a nice contoured shape. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm capping, and I'm stopping and looking at that nail from all angles just to make sure that I'm capping it the way it needs to be done. So I will continue and cap these nails and let you watch that in peace, huh? Oh no, I'm going to talk. Why not? I'm going to talk. So, how's everyone doing? It's been a long year already with, the third lockdown that we've had in the UK. It's been a trying time, to say the least, but yeah. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. If you're not okay, I've said in many other videos, please talk to someone if you're not doing okay, because you're okay to not be okay. It's okay to admit that. You know, mental health needs talking about. It needs the stigma removing from it. Many people suffer from it. It's nothing to be ashamed of, so please talk to someone. My inbox is always open to anybody who needs to talk. It's important. So yeah, I'm muddling through as best I can. I do what I can when I can, and I make no excuses for anything. I'm like, no, if I don't feel like it, if I'm not up to it, if my body's just not up to it and my mind isn't up to it, I'm just not going to do it, and I'm not going to apologize for it, because it is what it is, and beating yourself up over something that you just don't feel like doing is not helping the situation. So I've slowly started to learn that beating myself up about things isn't helping either. So to just let it go, which is easier said than done, I will say, but I'm getting better at it. You know, I need to take care of me too, and you guys need to do that as well. Remember, you're not just taking care of your family, you need to take care of you too, because if you're not okay, then your family's not going to be okay either. So you are important as well, so do take care of you. Rant over. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. So I'm just going to finish capping these nails. So this is the marble nail. Marble nails are lumpy, bumpy by nature. Do not worry about it. You can smooth that nail out with your capping layer. Not a problem. If you happen to file into your marble a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It can also add to the marble itself. But where I've got the glitter there, I don't really want to file into that. So I did keep those layers quite thin in the marble so that I'd have enough space left to cap the nail in a good amount of acrylic. That way I know that my glitter is secure, and it's even through the clear acrylic, when it's, you know, not even filed and top coated, you can still see how beautiful that glitter looks. Isn't that gorgeous? The iridescence is just lush. Anyway, so I'll just look at the nails all together to make sure that the nails are all similar in shape and in width and depth. So I'll turn it to the side so you can see there's an apex there, but it's not huge, and I want to make sure all the nails are a similar shape, and that way I get a uniform set. Because if I'm just looking at the nails as one, each by each by each, and not comparing it to the other, you will get nails that are different. It's just the way it is. So you do have to look at the nails as a group, and then you will have more consistency in your shaping. So for my frosty filing freaks, we have some filing for you. If you don't prefer to watch filing, you are most welcome to skip to the timestamp you saw in the top corner of the screen when the filing began. You know, skip ahead, not a problem. The filing's not for you, but for my frosty filing freaks, because I know they're out there, here is some filing. So the routine I'm going with on this set is to file one side of the nails first, each finger, then file the other side of the nail, each finger, and just go back. So from little finger to index, and now I'm going from index on the other side up the nails again towards the little finger. And I'm also going to stop and just make sure that the nails are going straight and not wonky, and if I need to file the other side a little bit like I am just doing there, I will. Pay attention to your shaping. Don't just keep filing away and not stopping and looking. It's so important to stop and look what you're doing, because it's really easy to get carried away with the filing, because I often get carried away with filing. It's really easy to get carried away and file something too much. So do keep stopping and looking, and not just looking at that nail, making sure it's straight, but looking at the nails as a whole, the whole set. All the nails need to look very similar for it to be a cohesive set of nails with good shaping. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not making them too pointy. I wasn't going for the whole extra sharp point, but that's personal preference. If you're after a really pointy set of needle tips, you're welcome to do it. Go ahead, but that's not what I was going for in this set. So now that I've finished those sidewall shapings, I will go on to use my e-file and neaten up that cuticle area. Make sure it is nice and flush. I don't have my e-file on very high. It's not necessary by the cuticle area. We are removing not much. You know, you don't want to remove too much from the cuticle area, because then you will file away your colour, which you don't want to do. But you do want the nails to be, the acrylic to be flush to the nail plate, so that as it grows out, not that hand doll is going to grow now, but you know what I mean, as it grows out on a normal person, you won't have a lip there. You don't want a lip or a step at the back of the cuticle area, and that kind of stuff gets stuck in your hair and it gets really annoying. And so as you have to get the cuticle area nice and flush if you want the nails to grow out nicely and comfortably for yourself or your client if that's who you're working on. So just bear that in mind. There wasn't too much to shape on these nails debulking wise, so I'm using a fine what's this called, rugby shaped barrel bit. It's just a carbide bit, so I'm just going to reshape the nail. So I'm blending that cuticle area up into the apex so that it's not just a line around the cuticle where I went round with my e-file. So I'm sort of blending that up to the apex area and removing any little bits of bulk, but there's not really much bulk there, so I'm just contouring the nail with my e-file. Like I said, not much debulking as such to do, so I am just refining the shape really with my e-file. So I want to make sure that the sidewalls aren't just a harsh line where I've filed the sidewalls in. If you don't blend the sidewall into towards the middle of the nail, you'll have that kind of really sharp edge on the sides, and you don't want that. So you want the nail, if you imagine looking down the barrel of the nail should have a nice curve to it, so like a semicircle curve to it from sidewall to sidewall. If you are not blending in where you've used your hand file on the sidewalls, you will have a harsh line either side. If you look down the barrel of the nail, you don't want that. Blend it in towards the middle of the nail, and that's where you get your nice curve and contour of the nail. That's what I mean by contouring. And yeah, so not too much, just a little bit of refining to do. Nearly there, just finishing that little finger. So again, blend in that cuticle area up to the apex, and then making sure the rest of the nail is nice and curved and contoured as well. I do keep stopping, as you'll see. I stop, I look down the barrel, I look at it from the side, look at your nail from all angles, because if you're just looking at the bird's eye view, you won't see any flaws. You do have to move that nail around. Don't be afraid to lift up that finger and look everywhere. So now that I've finished that part, I will just use a buffing file and just give those nails a little bit of a buff, get rid of any demarcations, and that will be it. So now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. The best part for the top coat. So I removed all the dust, wiped over with some rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and now I am top coating these nails. And this is it. This is the finished set. So as we are at the end of the video, oh, look at that glitter. Oh, distracted by the glitter. Anyway, as we're at the end of the video, I'd just like to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel and watching this video. Thank you for spending your most precious time with me. I appreciate you very, very much. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Join the Frosty fam. We'd love to have you. If you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, go ahead and click that like button for me. It helps my little channel out with the algorithm and all that. And if you are feeling up to it, you are most welcome to leave me a comment. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.